having a bad hair day?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Tiny trucking.
All the way.
Okay, so we just finished the very first USA Adventure Series. And that's really cool, except what's even more cool is that Rob and I were both there at the same time, and we have this tradition of going to major RC events in the USA and then doing a rig review.
That's happened once or twice or 3 times, maybe 4.
So, does everybody see this?
Oh, yeah.
This thing is so off the charts. I don't know how to describe this. This is definitely, okay, Dana, don't listen to this video. This is so nice. I think it might actually be nicer than Dana's builds. But that's probably impossible. But anyway, it's really nice. This is so incredibly nice. There's features on this truck that I think are totally incredible. Like, for instance, all of this handmade, not purchased metal work. It's also the very first complete build to be shown off with a full CMAX suspension drivetrain underneath it, which I think is really nice.
Really nice.
But that's because we make it, so I think it's nice.
Yeah, I'm biased too.
And Rob's fantastic build also won 3 gallery awards from his peers, which I think is also fantastic because this thing needs to be rewarded and awarded. It's very nice. Good job.
Good job. High five. High five for good job.
Very nice. So, talk about your truck.
It's my first hard body ever.
I don't understand how that's possible.
I don't know.
So good. And it's like clear coat paint and everything. It's really, really nice.
You know, if somebody would have made a hard body Bronco, it wouldn't be my first hard body ever, but nobody makes that, so I had to stray from my path.
You did a good job.
Yeah, it came out okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Any plans for driving this truck?
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah,
It's kind of clean right now.
It's super clean. I had full intentions of driving it this weekend, but
well,
you work a lot when you do these events.
It's true.
Yeah.
So yesterday, for the people who don't know what the context of this event is, yesterday was the very end of Hurricane Matthew in North Carolina. So we were supposed to do all kinds of trails yesterday and RC stuff, and literally we got rained out in a way that Canadians have no idea. Have no idea.
That's
so,
funny.
Yeah, that was my first hurricane experience, and it was really bad. And now that we finally got a beautiful sunny day, we jammed in all these courses, we did the gallery awards, we had the chance to show off this beautiful truck, and I'm so impressed. So, first of all, I have some questions.
Okay, I have answers.
How do you make this metalwork stuff?
By a welder.
Like steel, or?
Yeah, that's all solid rod. That's like 1/8 or... Yeah, it's 1/8 inch solid rod. It's all just mild steel rod, and you get a pair of pliers, because my method is really complicated. So I get pliers, and I bend the rod.
Okay.
And then you bend the rod some more and bend it some more, and then, you know, eventually you get a roof rack that's pretty symmetrical, more or less. And,
it's really nice.
I've never seen a legit roof rack that actually has these hoops down the side like they are on a 1-to-1.
Right.
Most roof racks like bolt on with screws in all the wrong places. So this is actually brass. All these sleeves are brass that have been bent, and the brass is silver soldered onto the steel. And then all these little crossbars are all brass as well, but they are soldered with a much lower melting solder, like what you'd use the electrical 60-40 rosin core solder for these.
Wow.
The reason for that was I could silver solder these main structural pieces that hold the cage on, and then when I get really close in here and I had to solder that little tiny joint, if it was all silver solder, I'd melt this joint or I'd melt that joint and it would never stay together.
See, that's incredibly smart. I never would have thought of that.
So,
wow.
Yep.
And then you made these wire brush guards.
Yeah, these are...
How do you do that?
These are, what do they call these things? Limb savers. So, you know, you're going through the brush and there's an overhang branch and it smacks these, and instead of taking out your windshield, it goes right over all your luggage. So, we've talked about this guy before, Matt Dexter. He's like the grade A painter. He tells me, he's like, oh, I got this really thin jewelry wire. I don't even know if you can see that.
It's pretty thin.
Really thin jewelry wire, and in little tiny crimps. So I got this super awesome scale bumper, a quality Chinese piece, and I silver soldered some hoops, some rings right onto the bumper, and I silver soldered some more rings up here on the top of the cage.
Wow.
And then I used a jewelry wire and a quick release clasp like you have on a necklace, you know, around a necklace.
Yeah.
and then that way I can actually take the body off because it's all connected right there. And so that's important sometimes to take the body
I never
off.
actually even saw those clips before. I just thought they were rings.
Ha ha ha.
That's tricky right there.
So you use a Sharpie marker, and you Sharpie marker the silver rings to make them look black, and then they blend in, and then just like you never noticed, and nobody else noticed either.
I never knew.
So,
so this is the first D90 I've seen with an opening hood.
yep, it does.
That's pretty fantastic.
Really?
It is. And so tell us about your motor.
So when I build anything, I know I mentioned this in the Go Fast Bronco rig review, right? I start on Google Images, and I do lots and lots of Google image searches. So the motor in there started out as a GCM straight 6, and then I took it to a lot of saws and Dremels, and I Dremeled the whole case smooth, and did a little bit of styrene work and made a fuel injector. So now it's a 300 TDI.
Nice.
And it has all the fuel rails, the injector, you know, the fuel pump, the TDI injector pump. It's got the turbo, the intercooler, everything. It's got everything on it.
Wow.
Yep.
I can't believe how nice this is. So you used Yoda 2 axles.
I did. RC 4-wheel drive Yoda 2 axles. I have not shimmed them yet. I probably should.
And they are coil and shock
Yep.
suspension.
Split, just like the real one. Nobody runs coilovers in these. They have a coil, and then they have a shock next to it.
They do. Good job.
Yep.
And of course it's a CMAX chassis, so it's got the GCM tranny motor mount. What motor did you put in it? Electric motor?
Oh, it's some I don't know, some nothing horsepower motor like it should have, because it's a scale truck and I don't need to go fast.
27 turn or something.
Yeah, 27 turn axial. I think that's what
There
I
you
had.
go.
It was laying in my box, and I'm like, oh, this will work, and I threw it in there.
And you can actually use that in a scale truck with this tranny because the gear ratio is 14.3.
Geared awesome, perfect.
Way low gears.
Yep.
And then the LRT2 transfer case, which is part of the CMAX kit, also gives him overdrive from
On the
the front
front
axle.
So my turning is fantastic.
And downhill.
Yep, downhill too.
Very cool. So there's another crazy feature on this, which I have also seen very rarely. Thinking of Kevin Gander. Check this out. Oh my. What? Yeah. So that was a process.
Yep, all scale hinges on the door. Those are all made with brass, and they're 2mm screws, 2mm hardware from K&K, Mike Kirby. And yeah,
Wow.
brass, silver solder, and a lot of freaking time with a file and little tiny grinding points to make them all look nice.
Whew.
The top hinge is crazy accurate. If you look at a D90 or D110 top hinge,
Yeah.
it's got this crazy J thing that comes in, and it's just complicated. And that I mean, that's really, those hinges came out jam up. They're really nice. Those are nicer than the hood hinges, which are nice.
That's bonkers right there, how realistic that is. That's an exact replica of the actual hinge right there.
Yep.
That is totally bonkers. I can't believe it. Well, what a good job. So what's next for this?
Well, let's see. I got my steering servo on the steering wheel. So when I turn right. Well, my right, your left.
Yep.
The steering wheel turns with the wheels right and left the way it should. And
Not
I got
the way it shouldn't.
I got my GPS, that's lit up inside there, and I got my CB radio that's down inside the interior.
Yep.
That's all lit up. And
Looks
so
like some exclusive RC.
oh yeah, we definitely. And I got the exclusive RC little GoPro over here, so
Yeah.
he can film every mistake he does. And yeah, I mean, this one will probably get a full light kit. Probably do a Hey OK light kit on it, and running taillights, side markers, the whole, everything. I still have a lot left to do under the hood, detail stuff. I did make an air box right where the air cleaner is on the inside, but I have to route all the ducting and hoses, and I have a power steering cooler that I built. Just did not have time to put it in the truck, and just detail stuff. It's all detail stuff.
It's so nice. So we couldn't pass up this opportunity here at Uwharrie National Forest to say hi again to Rob, this fantabulous builder, and this incredible specimen of his handiwork. And so thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Enjoy, guys. More rig reviews and videos coming up, and stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Tiny trucks.